Welcome back. My name is Ellen. I'm pregnant with identical twin boys and I'm 25 weeks along right now, and I'm going to be updating you on 3 things today. I'm going to be telling you about my back pain solutions, hopeful solutions that I have found. I'm going to be describing the Braxton Hicks contractions that I've been having and talk about how they feel, the frequency, what's been going on with the contractions, and then weight gain and exercise. So this is going to be a little bit more of like advice type of information. Not really advice, because who am I to give advice, but just kind of maybe helpful information that I would like to hear from other twin moms too, because you know, I'm looking for answers, and if somebody else is going through the same thing, I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing to help myself, and then maybe it'll help you. Okay, first of all, with the back pain, this has been an ongoing saga for a little while, but let me first describe the type of back pain I'm experiencing. It is very muscular type back pain. So I attribute it to a couple of things. I think all of the weight I'm carrying on my front is causing a lot of tension on my back muscles, but I think I have gotten so wide this way. For example, my bra size was a 36 around before, and now it's a 44. So I have grown hugely this direction. And so I'm guessing that rapid growth out this way and this way has just made my muscles go into a state of spasm. And so I saw a chiropractor. I have been seeing a chiropractor and he really helps me. But what I've noticed when I go several days without seeing him, I was back to square one. I was experiencing pain. My back pain would get all tight again, and I wouldn't really have the same relief that I had that first day right after I saw him. And I told my coworkers, and they felt my back and said it was really tight. I had a lot of knots, and they recommended that I incorporate some prenatal massage into my regimen, because they said he can realign you all day long. And if your back muscles are in that tight of a state, they're just going to keep pulling everything back out of alignment. So everything needs to be relaxed and worked out, and then hopefully that would enhance the results of my chiropractic services. So I followed their recommendation. I saw the chiropractor 2 times last week, and in between my sessions with him, I had a prenatal massage by a massage therapist who was certified in prenatal care or whatever. And it was wonderful. It hurt so good, but it was really helpful. And then I have since experienced longer relief since my chiropractor session last Thursday. So that's been longer. That's been the longest time I've had relief. So in addition to the chiropractor and the massage that I'm doing, I'm also incorporating now some prenatal yoga that I just find on YouTube. Some short, like 15-minute prenatal yoga, basic stretches to open up my hips and relieve my back pain and just kind of stretch a little bit more. And it's made me realize I am so tight. I'm just like really not loose anymore. So I think that is probably also contributing to my pain. I'm just like not stretching enough. So that is going to be wonderful. Doing a little bit of light prenatal yoga every day. I'm really hopeful that that will also enhance my results with my back pain. And my hip pain. It's the hips too. Then something my coworkers recommended was using a tennis ball for rolling out my back. I can use it 2 ways. I can, get up against the wall, put the tennis ball in between the wall and my back, and roll it wherever I feel tension, and kind of use it like a little massage. I can do that. And I can also use it for the trigger points, they called it, in my back. So trigger points, they explained, are just points of tension and tightness, like a knot in your back. So if you just hold for about 30 to 60 seconds with the tennis ball right on that trigger point, it's gonna hurt really bad at first. But then what they explained to me was, you find that trigger point, and you put the tennis ball right on it, and you push up against it 30 to 60 seconds, and then eventually the muscle gives up, stops fighting, and it relaxes, and it kind of relieves all those knots that you have in your back. So I've been doing that like 3 times a day. I'll find my little trigger points in my back, lay on the tennis ball, and it kind of relieves it. So those are the 4 things that I'm doing for my back pain: chiropractor, massage, prenatal yoga, and my tennis ball. So those are helping me, I think. I'm having some relief, and it all makes a whole lot of sense to me. Like, I really feel like I understand conceptually what is going on, I think, at least. And I really feel like all this stuff is gonna help. Next, my Braxton Hicks contractions. I didn't even realize what these were, but I think I've been experiencing them for several weeks now that I know what they are. They are when your stomach gets really tight in a certain spot and it feels like the baby just balls up, and it's uncomfortable, but it's not painful. So they're not a sign of labor, but they're practice contractions. And I just thought it was like the baby is moving or somersaulting or arching their back. I didn't know what the heck these feelings were, but I didn't realize they were Braxton Hicks contractions, and I've been having them for a while. But this past week, I was having a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions, like multiple an hour. And I was getting a little bit worried. I Googled, you know, how many an hour is normal. And I couldn't really get a straight answer from Google. So I called labor and delivery and said, I'm having about 4 Braxton Hicks contractions an hour. They're all about 15 minutes apart. It was like pretty predictable. And they pretty much just said, you know, if it's 10 minutes or less apart, between 4 and 6 an hour, come in. Mine were about 15 minutes apart. So I didn't really quite meet the 10-minute marker, and I really didn't want to go into labor and delivery. So I didn't, because they weren't 10 minutes or less apart. So they said to look out for cramping, pain, fluid, like your water breaking, discharge, and really like uncomfortable contractions, like painful. So I didn't have any of those other signs, just lots of Braxton Hicks. And I think that's okay. I've still been having a lot, and I'm gonna put a little video right here so you can see what mine look like when they happen. It's not really obvious, but you'll see one side of my stomach is higher than the other. And that's that little ball of tightness where it's just in one spot. It gets real hard, real tight, couple seconds, you know, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, and then it just relieves itself. Sometimes it causes me some back pain, depending on where the contraction happens, but that's the Braxton Hicks contraction, how it looks for me at least. When I went to the doctor, or went in for my ultrasound this past week, the ultrasound technician saw one of my contractions visually on the outside, and she said, yeah, I see you're having one. And she explained that a labor contraction is painful and it's all over your stomach. It's not like in one spot, like Braxton Hicks. So that's that. If you're wondering what you're feeling and you're feeling something like that, Braxton Hicks perhaps. Okay, now on to weight gain and exercise. So this is the topic that I was wondering about myself when I found out I was having twins. How much exercise should I be doing, if any, and what's the like weight gain for a typical twin pregnancy, and blah, 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 blah. I got answers from the twins, triplets, and Quads book that I read. I linked that in the description on Amazon. It is a really good resource if you're pregnant with multiples. And I'm going to summarize from that what I read. I read that before I went to go see the doctor. But pretty much there's a section on exercise. It says that, you know, you would expect, like you see with all of your singleton pregnancy friends, to be able to keep up some regular daily exercise when you're pregnant with twins. The bottom line is it is not the same. You need to rest much more than you do with a singleton pregnancy. The more you lay flat, the higher your risk is for carrying full term because you're letting the blood flow. Sorry, he's working on the basement, my husband. So you're gonna hear some sounds. But gestating, you know, laying flat, letting the blood flow get to your babies, that's really important. And overexerting yourself is not good for your babies, and keeping up just light daily activity is pretty much the bottom line. Like, unless your doctor says otherwise, like bed rest or something. But this book kind of gave a little story of a woman who was like, you know, I just kept pushing myself because I felt like she read a book that told her, you know, double the babies, double the effort you should be putting into staying in shape. And she was getting really tired. She ended up, I think, not feeling very good throughout her pregnancy, and she realized that those were warning signs for her of, you know, stop, slow down. This information was all corroborated by my high-risk maternal fetal medicine doctor. I went and I asked her early on, like around 16 weeks, you know, what should I be doing for exercise? And she said, you know, what are you doing now? I told her my regular routine of going to work and walking and doing stuff around the house. And she said, okay, that's enough, because anything more than that, you're going to put too much stress on the babies and yourself, and you really want to rest as much as possible. This book also talks about weight gain. Between 40 and 56 pounds was the range that you should gain with twins. So far, I've gained 28 pounds, and it's a lot, but you know, you think you're eating significantly more for the babies, you're not moving as much, and you're growing the baby weight. So all of that together means you get heavier and you pack on the pounds. That's like an expected range, but I know a lot of people, like I met a woman who said she gained 70 pounds during her twin pregnancy, and you know, it all fell right off afterwards, but everyone's going to be a little bit different, but that's just kind of like a ballpark number. Anyway, this past week I went to the doctor. They wanted to monitor me more closely because of my high blood pressure preeclampsia scare 2 weeks ago, or however long ago that was. They couldn't get me in with a high-risk maternal fetal medicine doctor, so I had to see a general practitioner. I had to see the general doctor who didn't know I was having twins based on my 8-week ultrasound. Just putting it out there. And she comes into the room to see me, and she says, "Hi, how's baby treating you?" And I said, "Oh, hi. The babies are treating me fine." And she was like, "Oh, babies." I was like, "Yeah, babies." Did you not read my chart before you came in? Anyway, just a side note, that's okay. You know, maybe she was in a rush. But she kind of did the regular rundown. My blood pressure was good, which was wonderful. And then she said, you know, "Ooh, you've gained a lot of weight. You know, how's your diet?" And I said, "Oh, my diet's great. You know, I'm eating great and eating enough and blah, blah, blah." And she said, "Okay, now what about exercise?" And I said, you know, I keep it to my daily activity level that, you know, doctor so-and-so recommended I do. And she said, you really need to be, exercising more to keep this weight off. And I was like, oh, okay. And I wanted to hear her out because I thought, okay, you're just a regular singleton pregnancy doctor. And I've heard this from another singleton pregnancy doctor before. Not singleton pregnancy doctor, a general OB doctor. And she said, so tell me your regular daily activity. And I told her, she said, okay, you need to do 30 minutes of exercise a day, 3 times a week on top of your regular daily activity. And I was like, I didn't want to be too annoying and defensive because what I know to be true is true, but I also kind of felt like, girl, stay in your lane. Like, this is, if you're not a specialist, don't be advising me in a way that could be harmful to me, because could be harmful to me. And this is not the recommendation from my other doctors. I kind of briefly told her, I said, based on what Dr. So-and-so told me, I should really just keep it to my daily activity level, and that's it. And she even said that once my high-risk doctor said once I reach 25 weeks is when I should really start slowing things down and resting a whole lot more. And this doctor, she said, looking in your chart, I see that she recommended swimming as activity to keep, your exercising up. And I said, no. She recommended getting in a pool to relieve my back pain. Because I came in and I was telling her about my back pain. And she said, pools really help with pregnant women. You can just get in and feel weightless. And this doctor just kind of shook her head and she said, no, it's only going to make it harder for you when you go to deliver and you've gained so much weight. And, to curb the weight gain, you've got to keep exercising. And if you think about it, there's only 4 pounds of baby in there. Where else is the weight coming from? And I felt like, oh my gosh, that was mean and ignorant, because first of all, you're not considering the fact that yes, I am gaining more weight because I'm eating more because I have to. I'm not exercising as much because I shouldn't be. But what about the placenta? What about all the extra fluid in there? My babies are huge. One is in the 90th percentile and one's in the 68th percentile. So they're big babies. What about my boobs? They're huge. So that comment I felt like was mean, oh, you're pretty fat is what I heard, you only have 4 pounds of baby in you. So where is all that other weight coming from? I just felt totally fat shamed. And you know what? I have felt like that enough from the public. I don't need to feel like that from a doctor. And the thing is, when I go to see these specialists, when I went to see the specialist and I had gained 19 pounds in 4 weeks, did she say, you need to exercise more? No, she didn't say that. She said, maybe you have preeclampsia and maybe there's something else underlying going on. Maybe you're retaining too much fluid. Maybe there's some other issues going on. And she never once said, how's your diet? Are you exercising enough? You need to exercise more. She didn't say that. The other doctor also didn't say that the time before when I had gained some weight. These doctors who are specialists who know, they don't blame you for the weight gain. They kind of think about what else could be contributing to rapid weight gain, and it could actually be perfectly normal to be gaining that much weight. So things are just different with a multiples pregnancy, and it got under my skin a little bit when she made those comments to me, but I really do know in my heart that, first of all, I love to exercise. If I could, I would. I'm doing this prenatal yoga. I move when I can. And the whole point of exercise during a multiples pregnancy, from what the doctors have told me, what this book says, is like light exercise is to keep your blood flowing to prevent blood clots and to, you know, make sure that you're not completely sedentary. So you want to make sure that you're getting some kind of activity in during the day, but not 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week on top of your daily activity. That was definitely misguided advice. And I don't think that was, I know that would not be what my other doctor would have recommended. But like I was saying, I love to exercise. If I could, I would. I know I'm not overdoing it with my eating. I physically cannot stuff more food into me than is physically possible because the size of these babies. So I know I just know myself and I know what I'm doing and I know that I'm taking care of these babies. And so it really kind of just frustrated me when she seemed like she was questioning my lifestyle choices. And I also asked my doctor last time when I thought it was preeclampsia, what it could have been. I said, okay, say it is, and I have high blood pressure and, you know, whatever. Are there any lifestyle modifications that I would need to make to improve my outcomes? Like, and she said, no. It's not like high blood pressure as people age and you recommend like a low salt diet, exercise, and, you know, healthy lifestyle. She said it's totally not like that with preeclampsia. You have to, you know, that's kind of out of your hands. And so I was specifically like asking that, like, is there anything I could be doing differently to improve my health or anything? And she said, no, you just need to just keep doing what you're doing. So that's my little piece of advice based on the advice that I have received from medical professionals who are specialists and from this textbook written by other specialists. But anyway, that is all for my 25-week update. Now I'm going to show you how I look at 25 weeks pregnant. Okay, so this is how I look at 25 weeks pregnant with twins. Okay, so that is it for today's video, but I'm going to be back on Wednesday with a part 2 of what not to say to pregnant women. Because, first of all, after I made the video last week, I remembered all of these other comments that I didn't even include in that video that I thought, how could I have forgotten all of this wonderful stuff that people have said to me? Second of all, last week, people came up with some pretty creative things to say to me. So if I would have just waited an extra week, I would have had so much more quality content for you. So what I'm gonna do Wednesday is tell you all of the things that people said to me, and then I'm gonna tell you, you know, how it made me feel. Because I kind of have like a little canned response to these types of things where I'm just like, okay, whatever, and try to be nice, but like inside I'm thinking so many things. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna tell you, you know, maybe some ways that they could have said what they were saying without sounding so ignorant. Because, you know, pregnancy changes people. And not just the pregnant woman. It changes the people around you. You get to learn, you know, what people are really thinking. So anyway, I'll be back with that video on Wednesday. I hope this video was helpful to anybody out there who may be going through the same thing. You know, even if just one thing resonated with you and was helpful, I would be very happy about that. But anyway, I look forward to seeing everybody back here again on Wednesday in the next video. Bye!